Hello, I'm Maria, and this is Daniel, the head of real estate and estate planning from Fresh Portugal. And we work together in the real estate and estate planning department. And we are here to talk about the process of buying a house in Portugal and the tax exemptions that could apply on that process. That you will have a lot of tax savings on that purpose. So, Daniel, could you speak a little bit and explain to our viewers how the process of buying a house in Portugal happens?
Of course. So, Maria, typically, when you want, first thing, you want to buy a home in Portugal, you need to understand country. Portugal is a small country, but the differences are huge. From north to south are huge. So, it's very important to have a clear idea of what are your intentions and what you want to buy. You want city, you want the country, you want sea, you want the mountains, everything it's possible in Portugal. So first thing, have a clear idea. Normally we have amazing websites, search websites, get a real estate agent that could
Could
contact
you advise
directly.
some real estate agencies, for
We
instance?
can advise, and we have people that we normally advise because we know that they are trustful and honest. We work a lot, for example, with Stephanie Box, but there are a
She's
lot of
amazing.
things.
She's an amazing real estate broker.
Yeah, but there are plenty more that are very good. And that's an important question because a big change for someone that comes from the outside. It's the responsibility of the real estate agent that acts under the name of the buyer.
100%
In Portugal,
agreed.
yeah, in Portugal we don't have the conception, the figure, the legal status, let's say like this, of the buyer's agent. There's no buyer's agent, the real estate agent, and by the way, they generally are amazing, but they represent the seller. They receive their commission from the seller. So it's very important, whether with us or with anyone else, it's very important to have someone that represents you and that defends you. But this is in the initial procedure. So, like I was saying, you find your home, you are very focused on it, you make an offer.
I have a question. Regarding the real estate price in Portugal, where are the highest areas to buy a
The,
house in Portugal? Which the price is higher?
Look, the price is higher in the trendy places. There are the common ones, who is always higher. You have Cascais, Lisbon, and Algarve area, namely that area from Almancil, Vila Moura, and Quinta do Lago. Those are the most expensive areas. If you ask me what are the areas that are developing more, that are growing more, I'm seeing a huge demand on Porto.
It's true.
Algarve, but not the typical Algarve that goes from Carvoeiro until Quinta do Lago. The other recently discovered Algarve from Tavira until Vila Real de Santo António or Lagos area. Lagos area had a boom that I can explain. Of course, there is Comporta area, but Comporta
It's also a beautiful area.
it is, but
It's
it's
more
very,
in holiday season, I would
yeah,
say.
and it's very focused to one kind of to one kind of client that searches. It needs to be really for that special person who wants it. But so all areas now have high prices, but the highest ones are always the standard ones: Lisbon, Golden Triangle in Algarve, and Cascais. But the demand and the lack of offer also made prices in Porto or other areas in Portugal raise a lot.
I agree.
But yeah,
No, and it's important to notice that me and Daniel, we assist our clients in all Portugal buying a house
Yeah.
in the legal aspect, not only on those areas, but in all countries. So
yeah, of course. Look, Portugal, it's a very small country. In 4 hours, you go from north to south, so it's very easy to reach everywhere. And we have partnerships, and we have good news for the new year regarding new places where we'll actually be present physically.
And Daniel, can you explain and try to resume the process when a client comes to us and when our assistant, how that process in until finish the deal?
Of course, it's never easy because who knows me knows that I like to speak for 1 hour regarding real estate. It's a passion that I have. But trying to be the more simple as possible, you found a home, you make an offer. I always say to clients, make a written offer. Because the written offer, it's where you establish all the contingencies, like, for example, inspection, which is not the standard thing to do in Portugal, or contingencies regarding mortgages. It's very, very important to have everything clear in this procedure, in this time, when we do the offer, so that we don't have problems in the future. So we make the offer. Normally, we request up to 15 days. And in 15 days, we'll be ready to finalize the promissory agreement and to do all the due diligence that needs to be
We
done.
also perform a due diligence on
Yes.
the real estate in order to guarantee that all compliance is.
Normally, but it's not mandatory, but we make a due diligence document, a written one, we give it to the clients, and we proceed to the promissory agreement. And that's a big step, or the most important step when you
And the
acquire a
front
home.
prepayments on the promissory agreement rounds what? Normally 10%.
Yeah, normally it's 10%. For a Portuguese standard, it's 10%. And I always say, look, there's nothing in the law that says that it's mandatory to have a down payment or the typical percentage of a down payment. In a cultural way, for Portuguese, it's around 10%. It could be lower, it could be higher. It depends. I've seen situations of down payments that were made of about 50%, and that I think it's too much, unless we are speaking during a timeline and in a development. That's a different thing.
After the promissory agreement, what is the next step?
The next step, though, it's prepare everything. Normally, the inspection was done previously, could be done after, with contingencies. Normally, when it's done after, we put contingencies regarding a percentual base from the final price. But we prepare everything and we go to the deed. Of course, it's very important for those who want to have a mortgage to buy the home, starting the mortgage procedure earlier as possible.
I agree.
Why? Because a mortgage procedure, even for a Portuguese citizen that lives and works in Portugal, takes 60 days minimum. Because things take time in banks, and there are timelines that we cannot run from it. So if for us takes 60 days, it's completely normal that for someone that it came to Portugal very recently, who has incomes from outside of Portugal, it's very normal that takes more time. So prepare yourself and have at least 90 days for the mortgage procedure. I always say, look, do it previously. Ask your bank, even if you don't have a house, ask your bank, can I have a mortgage of how much? These are my incomes. Can you study?
Daniel, and do you think that our clients and expats have a more difficult step to getting a mortgage with Portuguese banks, in your experience?
The our clients don't have big problems getting mortgages. The biggest problem, it's the problem that comes from the system. It's those banks that are not responsive at all or take too much time to answer us and clients. But that's a problem that all Portugal and the system that is created has. What we can do and what we are doing, it's to give the most support that we can for our clients to achieve the result in a faster time. And we are having results. Not for everyone, but for the big majority of them, we are having good results to get the mortgages and to fulfill the requirements that the banks
Normally, in our experience, the majority of the expats that we work with, they get the mortgage, so it's very common for us. And now the final step, the deed that you were talking previously, what you want to talk about the deed in Portugal?
Well, the deed in Portugal, it's a normal deed for us. What I could say is that for a lot of cultures it's not normal. In a practical situation, let me explain you how this works. We have a big table, seller, buyer, notary,
The legal translators,
legal
that
translations.
me and Daniel.
Normally no, it's mandatory the bank to be represented if there is a mortgage involved. Normally the real estate agents are present also, so we are all there in a almost like a party. No, joking.
It's a
not
happy
party.
moment, both for sellers and buyers.
Yeah, it's an happy moment. We take photos, but we are all there. We sign the contracts, and the notary, normally, it's the one responsible for the records and for the registration. And this is the final procedure normally. But what I've been seeing, clients that are not from Portugal normally have a little stress and are a little concerned about the timeline that the record actually comes to their name.
No, it's very nice to remember that. So.
Yeah, it is because it happens. We've seen situations of houses that were legally bought and everything was well done, but it took the conservatory, who is the
Months sometimes.
yeah, a lot of months. I've seen situations of more than 6 months, depending on the luck of the client, because some of them work worse than others. But that is the timeline where we wait for the record.
No.
That is just after.
And it's important to refer that both me and Daniel are always requesting the public authority, so we are on that sense super attentive on that issue.
But it doesn't depend on us. So
No.
we can pressure, but
Obviously.
sometimes it's not easy to pressure.
But we achieve the results, let's say that.
No, of course.
And
yes.
Daniel, regarding the tax exemptions, do the buyers have any exemptions on the tax side, on property tax or municipal property tax and so on?
There are a lot of exemptions in Portugal. I think it's better to separate things. The first exemption that we can speak that we have in Portugal, and which is very important, and a lot of our clients have it and requested it, it's the exemption for under 35 ones. Those who are under 35 or 35, if they are tax residents in Portugal, have an amazing exemption regarding property acquisition tax.
That is, what is the amount between the property?
The amount, it has brackets, but generally it's between 5.5% and 6%. For high value properties, it can go up to 7.5%. But just to be clear, those ones don't have the tax exemption. The tax exemption works for all these clients that have until 35 years old age, and if they buy a home, regardless of the area of the home or of the council where the home is located, they have a full exemption on taxes that need to be paid for all properties until 324 euros and something. After that, and until 648 euros, you will pay taxes. But the first exemption until the bracket of 324 euros, it's around 15k. So it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a huge help.
It is a huge help. Besides that, we also have the stamp tax. Stamp tax, yeah, it's a flat fee from the deed price. That is 0.8%. So that is easy to calculate.
And it's important to refer that we have some clients that apply to this benefit and was guaranteed, so this benefit works effectively.
Yeah, no, that benefit works very well, and we achieve 100% in results regarding granting it to the clients. But there are some conditions that we need to be careful. The home must be for your primary residence, and you cannot own other homes or properties in Portugal. This is very important. Also, there are also some requirements regarding incomes that you have. You cannot be a very wealthy person, but we can explain that in person to everyone who is interested interested in
Get a
knowing more.
consultation with us and we will assist you
Yeah,
on
we are
that.
here to assist you and explain you everything. But generally, yeah, it's those are the criteria.
And Urban, imagine that you buy your real estate asset, everything was very completed, and if you do some construction work after the purchase, do you have any exemptions on the tax side or any tax assistance on that?
Yeah, that is very clever question also, because the exemption that we are going to speak now, it's an exemption that can be applied for all citizens that under 35 or over 35. The only requirement is that we need to find a home and we need to rebuild that home. Right? That is the first one. The second one, it's that home needs to be inside an auto area. Auto area, it's a technical term, but we can easily explain it saying like it's like the heart of the city. So if the house is inside an auto area, or the house has more than 30 years, and it's outside the auto area, we can apply to this exemption. It's not an exemption because we pay it up front, but then we can receive it back.
A reimbursement.
Reimbursement, exactly. If we fulfill certain requirements, and those requirements are there is a procedure that is made in the council. The council does an
The
inspection.
municipal council.
Municipal council where the house is located. The council does an inspection. If in the result of the inspection under Regio rules, it's the regulation for real estate, let's say like this. If the house is considered a low standard house or a house in a very bad shape, speaking in a non-legal term, and if we achieve a result that is good in the renovation, we can reclaim that money back.
That also is a huge help.
It is a huge help, and what a lot of people don't know is that you can also request that exemption even if you did not do the renovation. But if the developer that did it had this procedure done, and in those situations, the first purchase after that the renovation is also exempt. Even next Wednesday, I'm going to be in a deal where that it's happening, and in that situation, it can be not only for your own primary residence. It can be also for an investment purpose and to put it in the long-term rental market.
Or a secondary home, or
In the secondary home, no. In that sense,
interesting.
no, just for primary, or if you put it in the long-term rental market for a primary home.
Pay attention on that.
So we need to be careful. But there, the good thing is that we don't have limits. So it can be a 100K house or a 1.5 million house.
Wow.
There's no limit. The government doesn't establish a limit. So it's a good thing.
And our department has a lot of expertise in also on these requests, because these requests, this exemption, it's not exemption, but this reimbursement should be requested. So
Yeah, it has to be requested, and it's mandatory to fulfill
all the requirements.
Yeah, there are necessary steps. If you fail one, look, governments and tax authorities don't like to give us tax back. It's standard. So if you fail a step, you lose it.
So hire lawyers to assist you.
Yeah, sure, you should. Or at least someone that knows exactly the laws. I know very well some architects and engineers who know how to do it.
I could agree with that.
But it's always better to have a team. So generally, those are the exemptions that we have. There are other ones, but for those we will have to spend a lot of time speaking.
And Daniel, the last question. I think that this video was very informative. What to expect for the budget of 2026 and the amends or any updates on the real estate market / tax, because both of areas are joined. So some that you can talk about.
Well, unfortunately, I would like to speak more about it and to have more good news. The only good news that I have from the past 7 days, it's regarding the VAT. As you probably know, government has the intention in changing the construction, the VAT applied in the construction from 23% to 6%.
Wow.
That we already know. It's not included in the budget, but it's included in the intentions of the government. But since the beginning, we had a lot of concerns regarding, for example, the expressions that they used. Houses to being sold up to 600 and I forgot the exact number, 600 and something euros. What is this? It's a house that I built for myself, or it's just applied for developers. But then the government cleared that information. It's for everyone. Okay,
Wow.
perfect.
Huge save.
Huge. But then we had another doubt. We who studied that area, which was okay, but it will apply to all developments, even the ones that are already under construction, or just for the ones in the future. And in the initial step, the idea was just for the ones that were going to not be constructed, but that the project was going to be submitted in the council after the law. But that is strange because this law is going to be applied from 2026 up to 2029. So we have 3 years just to request a project and to put it in the council and to expect for an approval. Already 1 year and a half passed. So the major difference, the benefit that the government want to achieve with this change in VAT probably would not be felt in the community in the next 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So, but from last week we had the information that actually not. It will not be like this, and it will have retroactive effects.
Wow.
We still don't know very well the criteria, but this was granted by the minister.
When
So
we have the criteria, we will create a new
We
video to
will,
talk
for
about
sure.
that
We
with
will.
more precision.
So the first quarter of 2026, I believe it will be a very good year for Portuguese real estate.
Nice to know. So, Daniel, do you want to add something more to?
Look, there's always something to add, but I think you should subscribe to our channel, and we are going to put more videos and more information that I hope will help you all achieving your goals in terms of real estate in Portugal.
Thank you so much to be present and subscribe.
Thanks.
Thank you.